The Leafs have a major issue they must address before the playoffs start. It's not goaltending, it's certainly not the forwards, and it's not even the injuries they're dealing with. It is the defense. All of that and more in this episode of Leafs Digest. Guys, welcome back to Leafs Digest. My name is Darius Domingues, and we've noticed that about 80% of you watching our videos are not actually subscribed to the channel. So if you want to do yourself a favor and help me and Nick out on the channel, hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with everything Toronto Maple Leafs. And you're going to want to down the stretch because the playoffs are just a month away. That's right. It's the final stretch of the season and things are getting crazy. But without further ado, we'll get into this game specifically against the Philadelphia Flyers, which was terrible. Honestly, it's not that it was boring, not that it was a low event or anything like that. It just didn't go the Leafs' way. It was one of those games. We saw one of these games earlier in the year against the New York Rangers where nothing goes your way. It seems like they hit every post possible tonight. I think it was up to 6 or 7 posts on the night. But anyway, we'll start at the beginning. And I think the starting lineup, not only the starting lineup, the entire Leafs lineup has a little bit to do with the story of the game. And if you look at the projected lines for today's game, very interesting with Bertuzzi, Matthews, and Holmberg starting up front on that first line. Then McMahon getting some second line time with Domi and Nylander. Well-deserved for McMahon. Nice to see him get that opportunity. Nice Tavares, familiar faces there with Tavares and Robertson. Nice to see Robertson slot back into the lineup again for another consecutive game. Dewar, Kemp, and Reeves on the fourth line. No complaints there for me. Then you got Rielly and Brodie. Guys, we'll get into it later in the video, but I think the Rielly-Brodie thing, it's over. Why are we still doing this? We know it doesn't work. It hasn't really worked besides the COVID-shortened season. So why are we continuing to do this? I don't understand. The rest of the lineup was nice to see that Benoit and McCabe were back together. Love that pairing. I love that Benoit slotted back in tonight and arguably one of the Leafs' best defensemen tonight as well. And then we're trying out Edmondson and Liljegren together again, which I've liked Liljegren's game the last little while. I think he's certainly picked it up since we were giving him heck not too long ago, maybe just a week and a half ago. And hockey is funny like that. It moves very quickly, so it's nice to see him playing a little bit better. I think there's still another level to his game, so we'll see if he picks it up. And interesting as well, Martin Jones backing up Ilya Samsonov tonight, which wasn't really a big factor, but interesting to see Joseph Woll not suit up for the game. And early in the game, we got some, theatrics with Reeves and Delorier. They were talking in warm-up. They go at it. Pretty 50-50 bout there, if I do say so myself. Reeves got some big shots in. Delorier did too. And then Reeves obviously looks like he got a little bit of, the worst of that. His right eye was pretty much swollen shut. And he left the game and did not return. So hopefully nothing's broken. And hopefully he can get back in the lineup because ever since that injury earlier in the season, he has been great. I thought he's been putting together some great performances and some great games. So hopefully nothing broken and he can get back to playing as soon as possible. But the fact that he was kept out of the lineup is a little, concerning to me. But then the bad luck starts. The Flyers went up early. Didn't even mention that part, but they went up early. Then they get a second goal. The Leafs are hitting posts left, right, and center. Everyone's hitting a post. Matthews hitting a post. It was like Oprah, you hit a post, and you hit a post, and you hit a post. Everybody's hitting a post. Liljegren, Matthews, everyone. Tavares hit one like right on, one-timer slap shot. It was crazy. Another story to this game and something we've got to talk about, and I mentioned earlier in the video. As Steve Dangle says here, I vote for the candidate who makes Rielly-Brodie illegal. I think the experiment's over. It's not even an experiment at this point. It was an experiment at first, and it seemed to be working in the COVID-shortened year, and then they tried it again when they had to as an experiment. Let's see if we can recreate this magic. Hasn't worked, and it hasn't worked since. And I just do not think Brodie and Rielly, they got to disperse them. I know Labushkin's not playing today because of an illness, right? So you got to make things work, I guess. And they like the other pairings. But going forward, this cannot be a thing that happens. I just do not like them playing together personally. And I think if you look at Twitter and what everyone's talking about, a pulse in the fan base, nobody likes these two paired together. They're not great, and they did not look great tonight either. I mean, it tells the story of the game. And again, that's not the whole story of the game. The Leafs were incredibly unlucky. McMahon gets a shorthanded breakaway. He can't capitalize. They continue to hit posts, right? They were just incredibly unlucky tonight. So I will attribute some of that to that. But anyway, the Frost goal, the 3-0 goal. I mean, the Leafs, how not to defend playbook came out there. They go up 3-0. Rielly, Brodie go -2 on the night, and that's how it stayed for them. Not a great showing for those two. Not a great showing, but we'll move on from that. I just think Keefe has to figure something out with Brodie as well. I mentioned in a previous video that maybe he could benefit from some time off. Some fans and some commenters tend to agree with that. I think he could benefit from maybe a game or two off, just retool and get back to it. I don't think he's a bad player. And, obviously he's had his struggles this season, but you just got to figure it out. It's for the best of the team, right? And the fact that Benoit was sitting out the last couple of games is crazy considering how he played tonight. I thought he played pretty well considering the fact that they lost. I don't think you can't pinpoint him for that. But anyway, this game summed up completely in this tweet. It's been infuriating to watch, but in fairness, the Leafs should have had like 4 goals, which is true. They should have had like 8 goals if you include the post. And I know, ifs and buts and all that stuff, right? They could have had like 8 goals. It was insane. Like, I thought they outplayed the Flyers at times in this game, and especially when they get one back from William Nylander, which was nice. And we'll take a look at that now. The Leafs power play goal to make it 3-1. Excuse me. Nylander scores, and he has a career high 88 points on the season. So congrats to William Nylander. 88 fitting jersey number as well. He gets 88 on the season so far, and what a great season for William Nylander that is as well. And Nylander is on pace for 108 points. If you're going to take anything out of this game, it's that Nylander, I thought, played very well tonight, first of all, and he's putting together a very good season, and that's great to see from the Toronto Maple Leaf. And Nylander on pace for 108 points this season, 7th in the NHL in scoring. He's having a monster season, and that continues. So great to see from William Nylander as well. That was fantastic. And he's had a great year. There's not much more we can say about that. He is who he is, and I think there was a lot in the playoffs and the whole narrative the last couple of years. I think he's shedding some of that. I thought he's had a fantastic year, and I'm excited to see what he does in the playoffs too, because as we all know, Nylander can take it to another level. I think one other thing to mention is the Leafs penalty kill is a problem. To go with Brodie and a couple other issues they've been having, obviously injuries play a lot into that as well. With missing Yarncroke, he's a great piece as well. The PK, 24th in the league. Got to fix that heading into the playoffs. You do not want your penalty kill to be an automatic goal heading into the playoffs, especially if you're playing a team like Florida or Boston. Just not great. Last couple things to mention in this game. Bertuzzi gets on the board again. He is heating up when it matters. They need him right now. They need to secure these points. And you want to start playing well and, feeling good about yourself heading into the playoffs. And Bertuzzi's doing just that. And I'm excited to see what he does in the playoffs, because he went off last year with the Bruins. I think he had 11 points in 7 games or something. And in his last 11 games, he has 7 goals. So he's heating up he's playing very well. And the guy who gave him the pass on that, Morgan Rielly, and we've been giving love to Morgan Rielly the last couple videos and the last couple days. If you take a look at the chart too, the eye test says it all, but taking a look at the chart, he is a fantastic player and everything for the Leafs back there. And, quietly, he's been, obviously one of the Leafs' best players. But yeah, very quietly, I think. Not too much love is given to Rielly. He's lost in the shadow of some of the, the other guys like the Tavareses and Matthews and Marner, Nylander, right? So he gets lost in that sometimes, and he deserves his flowers as well. He's been fantastic this season. But yeah, I think, they did almost enough to win this game, but they did more than enough to lose it, if that makes sense. In the dying moments too of their last power play of the game, where they're trying to tie the game, Domi gives like a tape-to-tape pass to Lawton coming out of the box, a little bit of a scramble. Tippett, who was a great pickup, former Mississauga Steelhead for the Philadelphia Flyers, gives it over to him. He scores, and that was the game right there. So, you have to take care of the puck, and sometimes, like I said, they did just enough to lose. So that was really unfortunate, but Tavares gets one with the goalie pull to make it 4-3. So they never really gave up. I like the pushback from the Leafs. They look, I don't want to say they look like a different Leafs team completely, but they're showing shades of not giving up and giving a little bit of pushback. And I think that's something they've been missing. So that's very nice to see them doing that. So let me know in the comments what you think of this game. Do you just chalk it up to bad luck, or are there a couple things that they got to clean up? Because if they were to clean it up, in my opinion, maybe they could have came out with the W. They could have gotten those 2 or 3 goals. And maybe if you clean up a little bit of that mess, the Brodie pairing, the penalty kill woes, if you clean up those things, maybe you come away with a W. And I think those things are really going to matter. So let me know what you thought of this game. Let me know what you think of the defense going forward. And the injuries too, it's getting scary. I don't think goaltending is a problem at all. So that's very nice. But let me know what you think about everything else. And Nick and I will see you for a video tomorrow.